Hello, my stamping friends. This is Holly Peterson, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute fold using the Painted Lavender set, and I think it's called a hinge fold. So it's got this little flap that's a hinge, and our little butterfly that pops up to hold it closed. So I'm going to show you how we made this. I'm using the Painted Lavender stamp set. I am using the dies to just cut out the little butterflies. I know the dies aren't available right now, but they will be shortly. And I used the Thinking of You Today for my greeting from the Hope You Know stamp set. Okay, we will go ahead and get started here. My card base is Gorgeous Grape, and it measures 7.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. I'll have all these measurements and supplies listed in the description below, plus on my blog at hollyscrafting.com. So we're just going to fold on the score line. Then I have a piece of basic white for the inside that measures 3 by 5 3/8. I have shaded spruce, one that measures 3 1/8 by 5 3/8, and one that measures 1 by 5 3/8. I have a piece of the Painted Lavender designer paper that measures 3 by 5 1/4. And we have a piece of designer paper that measures 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then this little scrap is 3 inches by 1/2. And I'm using the paper butterflies. I think we'll use this bigger one. And the Nested Essentials dies. These dies nest together. I've scored the Gorgeous Grape. You need a piece of 5 by 3, and I scored it at 1 1/8, and that's with the largest Nested Essentials die. And then I'm going to fold on that crease line. I'm going to fold it the other way so that my stitching is on the correct way. And then I cut a partial of the white, and this measures 3 1/2 by 2 1/2, and that was cut with the second largest Nested Essentials die. Okay, let's get started here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shaded spruce and adhere this strip of designer paper to it. And all of these have just a skinny little border. Seems like lately that's what I like doing with my cards, is that skinny border. Then we're going to adhere this to the inside of our card. And I think I was going to line it up with the edge of the card base, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to give it a skinny little border here, kind of try to match them up. For the inside of the card, on my original card, I made it a birthday card. This one I'm just going to make a thinking of you. So on my basic white, with Gorgeous Grape, I'm going to stamp Thinking of You today. Then this little strip, I'm going to adhere at the bottom here. See, I'm going to use my silicone mat. I don't want to get my work surface all sticky. And I'm just going to leave a little bit of a white border at the bottom there. And I have just a small little bit of a hangover, so I'm going to trim that off. And then this is ready to go to the inside. Oh, you know what? I already messed up. Don't do as I do. Let's see if we can get this back up. I need to tuck my hinge underneath here. I did this card for class today and reminded to tell them that, but then I did just the opposite here. Okay, that should be good. We want to adhere this hinge to the underside of this. And I see I have a little bit of a hangover here. Okay, so first you want to put that hinge on there. And it's just a tad bit too long, so I'm just going to trim that off. And then I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this Gorgeous Grape, just to make sure it sticks good. Now we can put it on our card. Okay, now we can work on the front of the card. So our designer paper that was 3 by 5 1/4, it just gets adhered to the front of the card. Actually, it doesn't. It gets adhered to our shaded spruce piece. Goodness gracious. Now we can adhere it to the front of the card. And I'm just trying to line it up the same with the top and the bottom and the little skinny borders on the sides. Okay, let's do our stamping on this. I'm using Garden Green ink. And then the little flowers with the grass image. I'm just going to stamp Actually, before I do that, I think I want to sponge in case my ink isn't dry. We're going to sponge some balmy blue, and I'm using one of the large blending brushes. And I'm just going to come in and sponge a little bit of blue so it looks like the sky. Okay. Okay, now we're going to take Garden Green, and on the bottom we're going to just stamp this, and it doesn't matter if it overlaps, like so. Then I'm going to take my gorgeous Grape ink, and there's a little image, it looks like little flowers. So then I'm just going to do stamp them amongst my little grass stuff here. And I'm not being too careful about trying to line it up. I don't think it's one that is necessary to have it all lined up. Like that. And I think for my envelope, in class I didn't have an envelope done. So I think I'm going to stamp some grass on the bottom of my envelope. And then put some flowers over the top of it as well. Okay. We have our decorated envelope. Running out of space here. Okay. This can now just get adhered to our hinge layer. Then I just need to grab a little bit of a scrap. To stamp these little butterflies. And I'm using Highland Heather to stamp those butterflies. There is a die that cuts those little butterflies out. So I'm going to take those Hopefully that's not shaken too much for you. I did not use that little butterfly. You could, if you wanted to, adhere it onto the inside. And that is going to work as the stopper to hold our hinge shut. So then I'm going to use a mini dimensional. And put it on the left side of the butterfly. And then we can just tuck it under and holds the card closed. I am going to use a little bit of Wink of Stella and add it to my little butterfly. Then where did my paper? Here we go. So with this butterfly, on my original card, it was the full butterfly, and I sponged the center of the butterfly with Crumb Cake, and then the outside of the wings with Highland Heather. And with that, I like to use the little blending brushes, and I'm going to start with the Crumb Cake. When I sponge with the brushes, I like to use a really light hand. And since these antennas are kind of fragile, I'm going to come up from the bottom. And I just gradually add ink. I don't put a lot of pressure on the head of my brush. I like to hold the handle back. I think that's looking good. Then I'm going to wipe my silicone mat off. I don't want to contaminate my purple with my Crumb Cake. So let's just wipe that off with all that ink. And then we can come in with a different small brush that I use for my purples. And now we can start with the wings. And I start on the outside and pull the ink in. Kind of get the tips a little bit darker there. There, I think that's good. I'm going to wipe that off again. Now I'm going to use our liquid glue. Hopefully it plays nice today. I usually have a hard time with that on video. So I kind of want the antennas anchored down. So I'm going to make sure that they are all the way on my hinge piece here. And then I'm just going to add some liquid glue in spots. I'm going to put my thumb here so I know not to put any glue up there. And these butterflies are reversible. You can have them go either way. And once again, oh, here we go. silly glue. I don't know why I struggle with it so much when I'm doing a video, but it has a mind of its own, I think. Okay, I think that's enough. And I think I got a little bit too much glue up here. I do have a little bit of sticky glue there. I'll wait for it to dry and then I'll use my eraser on it and get that cleaned up. I am going to add some iridescent pearls to the body. I think I'll put a big one there. And I like to use the putty end of my Take Your Pick tool to pick up my embellishments. Whoops. Okay. He doesn't want to stay there. And then to finish off the card, I'm going to splatter Wink of Stella on it. And I'm going to get a piece of paper. So that I don't have glitter everywhere. Not that glitter is a bad thing. But then I'm just going to take my Wink of Stella. I make sure I have some of the glitter in the pen, and I'm just going to hit it against my bone folder. And you have to hit it kind of hard for the Wink of Stella to come out. And I don't know if you can see it on the video. You can see the splatters out here. Okay, I think that's good. All this shine and sparkle on there. And with that, my friends, that is how I made this little hinge card with the lavender suite. I hope you'd enjoy. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.